Greetings, and welcome to Next Stop Loading, the Growth Series. I am your host, Melissa, aka Stella, overworked millennial turned freshman entrepreneur. So did things really change? Right. Anyhow, each week, I'll bring you a conversation with professional women in various industries that are doing and or have done what the pandemic is teaching all of us to do. Figure it out. As a member of the Great Resignation, this series is dedicated to career and life transition. I hope this series engages and inspires you to grow with us on this journey of navigating this thing called life. I hope you know you're not alone. Join us. Here in Georgia with one of my second moms. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself for you all. Ms. Cheryl, if you would, tell the people your name. I just told the people your name. But your name, your occupation, and if you aren't so modest, your age.
Not modest at all.
Okay.
Cheryl Gregory, aka Miss Cheryl, second mom to a whole lot of people, thanks to my daughters. I am a registered nurse, and I am 51. Blessed, but 51.
Blessed and, not but, blessed and 51.
51.
Catch
and
that.
51.
Catch
and
that.
51.
So
51 the new 31.
Because I know that you all couldn't tell. Especially if you're watching via like video, and you see the video. I know you couldn't tell. You couldn't guess that. We would have bet money on that and won all day, every day.
Every day. Thank you, Mama, for them good G's. Hey.
Yes. Let's go. So, Miss Cheryl, we're here. This is not Atlanta, Georgia. What part of Georgia is this?
This is North Atlanta. I'm in Gwinnett. So in between Lawrenceville and Snellville, those are the two main cities that people realize or recognize. But it's about 20 miles north of Atlanta. It's in a suburb, so it's called the Greater North Atlanta area.
Miss Cheryl.
Yes.
You expressed that you are a registered nurse. Did you always want to be a registered nurse?
No.
How did we even get to nursing?
We got to nursing. Now, growing up, I wanted to be a lawyer. My grandmother wanted me to be a teacher, but I wanted to be a lawyer. My mom's baby sister, I looked up to her, and she was like the first one of them that went to college, and she was going to do law, but she wound up being like the director over Easter Seals, and so I wanted to be a lawyer. And my dad got sick, and he had cancer, and he died when I was in the 10th grade. And I never forget, like, when he got the diagnosis of the colon cancer and was sick in the hospital. He had been back and forth or whatever, and they didn't know what it was. And like the terror and the fear that me and my brother had, and the nurse was nice and kind enough to talk to us and explain stuff, and just the care that she showed, not only him but to us, that changed my aspect.
Wow.
And so that's when I started considering nursing. And so that's why I wanted to be a nurse.
Wow. So we're registered nurse out here in Georgia. Now, where are you from?
Born and raised in Arkansas. Sweet home.
Sweet
home,
Sweet
Arkansas.
home.
Not Alabama, but Arkansas. Sweet home, Arkansas. You know it. You went to Bills. Come on, Mills alumni. We went to the same
do
school.
not know, like most people know about like the capital city and maybe some surrounding cities, but you have your communities outside of that. And reigning sweet home.
Yes.
Come on, rep your set.
Yes,
Rep your set. So sweet home to Atlanta, Georgia. How do we even get here? Because that's not, I mean, typically, you know, the people either migrate to Dallas or Atlanta, but it's still not next door.
No, it's not. Like, even with my first marriage, you know how like there's a calling, like a pull, like I wanted to move.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to move and I didn't. And long story short, that was tumultuous at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And so you know, sometimes you just have to have people that'll push you into your destiny.
Absolutely.
And for me, that was my mom. I felt broken. I was with my ex like since 8th grade. So like we grew up together.
8th grade.
Yeah.
And
we grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it felt like a failure.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had it. I was with this person for, you know, I'm like, I was with you for more than half my life.
Right. And that's a lot of evolution.
Yeah, 18 and a half years. And I'm like, you know, just like baffled.
Mm-hmm.
And I never forget, my mom was like, what are you going to do? You just going to sit and waddle and just shred away? Or are you just going to get up and do something about it? I mean, it's not going to change anything. Mm-hmm. And she was like, what you do affect your kids. You still have 3 kids at home to take care of. Mm-hmm. So wallowing in pity is not the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, haven't you been making it? You'll continue to make it. You know, step out on faith. And then she was like, and it's just nothing but God, because I never gave my mom number out for anything.
Mm-hmm.
But a recruiter, a nursing recruiter, a travel nurse recruiter called my mom, and she was like, you know, at this time I'm working 2.5 jobs. I don't even know how I'm doing it. I don't know how I'm doing it.
Listen.
Concession stands and never missing games.
For as long as I've known Miss Cheryl, and it's now over half of my life. I am 32, and it's over half of my life that I've known Miss Cheryl. She's always had more than one job. And I'm not counting just the paying ones. And she told you about the 3 children that she has. She has more, and they all play sports.
Yeah.
And almost every one of the sports that the school offered, including cheer. So who was present was Miss Cheryl. Who we knew we could look over in the stands and we're gonna see is Miss Cheryl. So absolutely. I still to this day I don't have children, and I'm like, how did we make this happen? How is literal magic. Literal magic.
Not magic. It's just, I mean, it's just what you have to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, I look back, and I was speaking with my cousin, Lynette, and we were talking about the women from Highway 365, Sweet Home, Higgins, Riceville area, Highway 365.
Shout out
to them. And we were just talking, yesterday, literally, about their strength. And, you know, when my dad died, it was still 3 at home. Mm-hmm. And so, like, it's like God gave me an example. And so, with that, you know, my mom never gave up, and we never went for anything. She went without so we could have. Mm-hmm. And so we were talking about that strength that we pull from them. They're stubborn. We are too, you know, but that strength mm-hmm. is something. And, you know, as God gives us the Bible as an example, And no matter what you're going through in life, you can find it in there. And you don't understand any of that as kids growing up when your parents tell you that. But the same way you can look at your parents and see, just like you can look at Miss Mitchell and see, like, wow, you know, we didn't want.
Yes.
She took care of us. And she didn't gripe and complain about it. You didn't see her crying about it. No. She might have cried in the room, but you never saw it. Exactly. And that's, you know, and those are the things that, you know, we were talking about, you know, the things my mom said to me. They didn't ask to be here. That was your choice. No matter what you're going through, don't let them see it. And sometimes I, you know, maybe a couple of years ago, maybe I forgave myself. Because I did feel like I stayed longer than I should have. And then, you know, one of my friends, she was saying that her mom told her, you know, she was like, the best advice she ever got was from one of her mom's friends. And her mom was telling her, you know, this and this, and you know, you don't want to hear nothing your mama saying, and
not always understood.
I'm saying I didn't either. My
Right.
mom told me not to marry my ex. My mom told me a whole lot of things. My mom told me, you know, to get a divorce when the opportunity was there, and she stopped talking to me for a long time because I wouldn't do it. You know, and we buck on some things that we just don't understand. And sometimes, you know, is that stuff that they foresee. And Jazz was like, her mom told her, you know, her mom's friend was like, your mom only wants what's best for you, even though you don't see it. But, you know, until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, can't nobody be sick and tired for you.
Absolutely.
No matter what she tells you. And so... And you know, all those different things. And I was talking to one of my friends, and you know, and what she said was instrumental. You know, a lot of times is a lot of information that you can get from different people that can mold you and build you into what you need. And you never know who God places in your life. And you know, Keisha says it all the time. I don't know how you did it, Mama. I got 3 kids. I don't know how you, and all this running around and all that. But you're doing it while you're saying something about it. Don't think about it. And that was the mind frame. And you know, I'm so thankful for my mom for, you know, pushing me. You know, because I was afraid, and she was like, "What do you have to lose if you
step out?"
Yeah. I was like, well, Mama, I don't believe that. They talking about $10,000 a month and they gonna pay for everything.
Right.
She was like, well, if it don't, then come back. You ain't got nothing else. As long as I got a house, even, you know, even though a lot of times I mean, you're struggling. You may not want to go back, but it's not wanting to go back because I can't. It's not wanting to go back because I want to make it. You know, that attitude. And so. And when I stepped out, Melissa, I promise you, the first place I went, I never forget, I went to Fort Worth, Texas, and it wasn't a lie. JPS, it wasn't a lie. I had a corporate apartment. I had maid service once a week. Only thing I had to do was feed myself and go to work.
Wow.
I got paid every week.
Wow.
And, you know, and it was at the right moment, at the right time. You know, I only had 2 left. Well, Cheryl was still in high school, but Shakira had graduated. So she was old enough to stay with her. And, you know, and it was a blessing. People will call me crazy, but I did all my days together. So I'd have more days off. So I would go home. And so I could work 7 days and then be off 8.
Wow.
You know, and still, you know, she still plays sports, so I try to make some of her games and softball games, you know. So just make it work.
What made it work? Still making it work.
Still making it work.
Still making it work.
Still making it work.
I did not know like the details of the transition to Texas at the time, but you stepped out on faith. And it's interesting how the mirroring of your parents having three left at home, and then during your transition, initially you had three
left at home.
And it's just like, and now the friend that my direct friend, that's your daughter, has three at home.
That three
seems to be the magic.
Let me go play the Powerball. The Powerball number tonight, y'all, is 3.
It's 3.
It's 3.
Yes.
That is the magic number. Yeah. My mom it was 6 of us, but it was 3 left when my dad transitioned. And when I went through the second phase of my life, I had 3 left.
So did you go to Fort Worth because the offer was in Fort Worth, or were there any other areas that you wanted to move to?
No, that was just the offer. The offer. Well, actually, I came to Atlanta first.
Really?
Backtrack, but not. But well, I came to Atlanta first before I went to. Yeah, I did. Take that back. I came to Atlanta, but the area they had me in was in the South in Riverdale. No.
Just read between the lines, guys.
No.
Read between the lines.
No. And so I came, and the first night, and I was like, I can't stay here. And then they sent me to like an extended stay. And I know Keisha them came, the girls came to visit or whatever. And I went back. And then like I came back to Atlanta. I flew back. And then the hospital.
You see, that's a no also. So
not finna lose my license. I'm not finna do it. I mean, and nothing.
Nothing against those that do work in the space. You know what's for you.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna call the hospital out, but
right.
Yeah, but it was in the South, and the people in Atlanta know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
there you have it.
Yeah,
folks.
They had me down in Riverdale. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. No, all kinds of no. I can't do it. I'm here by myself. Nope. God told me no, baby. My flight into Atlanta, I flew in late, Melissa, and so when after my ride dropped me off, and like the apartment complex, they was like, let us know the agency told us you'll be arriving late. It was like they were having a party at almost midnight. Oh no, sure, I can't stay here. No, not by myself. No, thank you.
Oh,
no,
wow.
Thank you. No, thank you. No.
Bless it.
Yeah, bless it. Yeah.
It was like, all right, turn around trip.
Baby, I did not sleep that night.
I bet.
No, I didn't. I was like, okay, I'm going to wait for the morning. I can't stay here. Yes. And so then they, put me in a extended stay. And I was there. And, it was okay, but it wasn't for me. And I knew it wasn't for me. And the only good thing about it was, like, you had the first couple of weeks to know if that was going to be something for you, and I let my recruiter know. I was like, she was like, well, just try, Cheryl. I tried. It didn't work. And
that's fair.
It is.
That's fair.
She was wonderful, because a lot of people are not, and, but, and they didn't blacklist me or anything like that. And then I went back to Arkansas. I still had my job at the state hospital, but what I took my PTO, and I was like, well, I'm gonna take a couple of weeks off, and so I went to try it, and it didn't work, and so I went back, and so no harm, no foul, and then stuff was still rocky in Little Rock, and it was just. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
And then Fort Worth opportunity came along.
Baby. Ding, ding, dong.
Yes.
And it was wonderful. And they had me in a nice area outside of Fort Worth in White Settlement. And it was really nice. And I know the people in Fort Worth and people in Dallas don't get along. I lived in both. And when I was in Fort Worth, you can't stand people. Like Little Rock, North Little Rock.
I understand that very much so.
Yeah, and so they don't get along they don't get along across the bridge. Across the bridge. That's how close they are, but it was really nice, and the people were wonderful. I worked at JPS, John Peter Smith Hospital, and it was absolutely wonderful, and it was everything that they said it was. I had no issues financially, nothing.
So how did it feel personally to relocate, to step out on faith, relocate, and it actually have like a positive outcome? Like, you felt safe, like you said, in Atlanta, it didn't, seem safe. It didn't seem like it would be the correct fit. Was there any relief in that?
It was a lot of relief. It gave me some times, sometimes you need that personal time alone. Because in order for God to order your steps, you have to be able to listen and
amen,
be there by myself. And I could go to the gym. It was a safe place. I could just get out and walk, and just think of all the blessings, and actually, what you've overcome. I hate when people say, victims of domestic violence or victims of anything. People are not victims, they're survivors.
Absolutely.
And so, no matter what you go through in life, don't think of it, as being a victim of anything. Life happens to everyone, and you're one circumstance away from either breaking completely down, or if you have a support system or someone. Hello, you took the words out of my mouth.
Yes.
If you have someone that's going to, push you into your destiny, you can't always be afraid. And so when you have people, and then when I mean by people, especially for African American women, if you have a woman that will push you into, and my mom been pushing me ever since I've been born. I mean, but you don't realize that until you're an adult. I think it's, when I was a kid, you just being mean, or you just, no. They want you to be better than them. They want you to be the best that you can be, because they see something in you.
Absolutely.
And so actually being able to step out on faith and do that, it allowed me to see that there's absolutely nothing in the world that I can't do with God. As long as I got him, I can do anything. And so the mindset change, is no longer operating in fear. It's operating in what's next.
Absolutely. Operating in faith.
Yeah, it's what's next. It's what's next, God. What we doing? What we doing? What we got going on? Because we can talk to him just like I talk to you, and people think it has to be our heavenly Father. It doesn't always have to be that.
However, whatever your relationship is,
whatever it is,
absolutely.
It is what it is. He accepts you as you are, and when you can get that mind frame, and a lot of times I've came to realize, even in my own life, there's a lot of times that I've allowed fear to allow me to talk myself out of
opportunities.
Hello.
You're speaking to me right now, Miss Cheryl.
Hello.
You are ministering to me in this current season. You mentioned faith and fear, and basically you bet on him. You bet on God. You said, all right, I'm a trust you to take care of me. And it came to fruition. So now you're more encouraged to do the next thing, right?
Yes.
So when you said that, I'm like, I often hear people saying, I heard people say, when you're down and you are feeling fearful about what's next, consider the things that God has already brought you through.
Yes.
Like, this isn't the first thing.
It's not the first thing. And guess what? as long as you living, it's not going to be the last.
It's not going to be the last.
It's not going to be the last.
God is infinite.
And he's instrumental.
Absolutely.
And we were speaking earlier, and you said that, you left your employer. Mm-hmm. But that's because God has something more in store for you. There's never been anything that I've lost that he hasn't given back to me.
Tenfold.
2, 3. I was going to say 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 times more.
I believe it.
And so a lot of times he has to make us uncomfortable in order for us to step out on that faith. And I think in my life, that's why I was being made so uncomfortable, because there was other things for me to do.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't said, okay, God, I'm going to trust you.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. We can really, get ready for the benediction, but prior to, we can pass that plate, that offering plate, because we've been ministered to. So you settled in Fort Worth. How long were you in Fort Worth?
I was there for maybe a year and a half, and then I moved to like the Arlington area.
Okay.
And I got another assignment, and so I was able to have the nursing assignments, and it was enough for me to do what I needed to do to take care of my kids. And then my youngest one, she moved up. She hated me because I moved her in her senior year. But, hey, it is what it is. My mom was like, nah, don't leave your child. You need to have your child with you. So I hadn't listened to my mom enough in my life. So I did listen to her on that point, and so I moved to that area, and I never left. And then I worked 2 assignments. I had
Jesus.
I had one in the Arlington area. I had one up there, and then I took a travel assignment in San Antonio.
So you were a travel nurse at the time. Okay.
Yeah. So I just kept doing it.
So Fort Worth and then Arlington. How long were you in Arlington, if you don't mind me asking?
Now, in that area, I stayed in that area until I moved.
About how long was that? Do you remember? Or how long were you in Texas?
I was in Texas from almost 10 years.
What?
Yeah, about 8, 9 years. Yeah, almost 10 years.
If I probably think about it, it probably makes sense to me, but time just keeps on ticking.
It just keeps on ticking. I didn't leave until 2015.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm learning things with you all, guys.
Yeah.
I'm learning things with. Okay, so 2015. How do we get back to Atlanta then from Texas?
Well, God being instrumental again. Someone I grew up with, and him and my youngest brother were my current husband. They were best friends in high school.
Okay.
He played ball for my dad, and our families know each other. His mom graduated with my mom's oldest sister, and it's funny. His next to the oldest brother was the minister of music at our church. Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, small world. And me and my ex-husband, we used to be over the youth department when he was preaching. And so we all worked together. And so, but his next to the oldest brother used to coach with my dad, and they were good friends.
Wow, okay.
And so, and it's funny, like my kids were in the choir with, his with his brother. But, we were always friends. But honestly, he was the first person I ever had a crush on, but he wouldn't give me the time of day. Go on, little girl, because I was younger. I was younger. And he,
fair.
Girl. But I was a tomboy too, but, but man, that boy could hit a ball. My daddy used to tell him, be like, at the park, over there in North Little Rock. The
And
baseball park over there. Hit it into the swimming pool.
for those that do not know, because Miss Cheryl has not shared, she's an athlete as well. Her children did not get it from out of nowhere, out the blue. And to this day, if it's in my opinion, she has the best aim out of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Watch your mouth. Miss Cheryl has aim. So you had a crush.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow crush came along.
Baby, crush saw the grown Cheryl. Hello.
I'm not mad at it.
And it was funny. I didn't know. I mean, I knew he moved to, I thought he was still in Augusta, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Because his dad was in the military and all that jazz, and retired, couldn't find a job that he liked in Arkansas. So he got a job at the base in Augusta. So they moved back. They moved to Augusta. And I didn't know. And he was here when he was like, I didn't know you was here when you had. I was like, it is what it is. You know. He actually, him and whoever his girlfriend was at the time split up or whatever. He had messaged me on Facebook and he was like, where's a good place to stay in Dallas? I'm thinking about coming to visit or whatever. Strange to me, your cousin here. Why are you asking me?
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. Well, he had messaged me like 4 years before that. He said, I owe him 4 years. I don't understand that. But Melissa, if somebody DM you and say, how far is where you live to Dallas?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where his cousin's saying, about 10 miles,
Mm-hmm.
about 15 minutes. That would be your answer, right? Because you're asking me a question.
Exactly.
He said he was trying to figure out if I was open. Oh, whatever. Miss me.
Sir.
Exactly. He said
That was way too indirect.
Thank you. Talking about I wasted 4 years with somebody else. Because,
oh my gosh.
That's a guy thing. Lies. But and so he was like, I'm gonna be in Dallas for a whole week, blah blah blah. But you know me, sure, gotta work. I don't know what y'all talking about. And, I was like, well, I'm off this Friday because that was my weekend off. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I'm off this weekend. And I had worked that Thursday night, but I was off that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I was like, well, I'm off this weekend. I'll catch y'all, because every night they was saying, work. Got bills to pay.
Absolutely.
Am I finna be a kept woman?
Hello, somebody.
Jesus. But, and it was funny. I graduated with his cousin Chris, and he was like, oh, Chris coming down or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, I can see one of my classmates too. And I really overslept. I really didn't oversleep. I needed to sleep.
Absolutely.
That's what it was.
Going days straight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I needed to sleep. And so, I woke up and they was texting me. I'm like, I'm going to get ready, whatever. So I got dressed or whatever. And they was texting, where you at? I'm on my way. Y'all on the other side of Dallas.
Somebody couldn't wait to see you.
Y'all on the other side of Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know how they saw me. I was walking in the parking lot. I didn't even know they were getting ready to leave because my phone was in my purse.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris pulled up, like somebody was finna hit you. I look like, hit me because you better kill me because my kid's gonna be rich. All I know, my mom and them gonna be rich.
Mm-hmm.
But and it was them, and we've been kicking it ever since.
Ever since. And I must say the relationship must have progressed. If you all have not been blinded by the rock that is on that finger, the relationship has definitely progressed.
Yeah, it progressed. Maybe that was in July, and October he asked me to marry him. So
you all got married. You relocated to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Now, do you see yourself ever returning to Arkansas?
No. It's hard to even visit.
You have it here, folks. There's no returning.
No.
And why not?
There's absolutely nothing to do in Arkansas. honestly, once you leave, you're not going to want to go back, only to visit. I mean, I love my grandkids, and they would be the only reason why I would go to even visit Arkansas. Otherwise, I mean, besides my mom and my aunt, but I can go see them in one day and I'm ready to go.
Understood.
I mean, there's nothing to do. I mean, I can either go to the club, I can go to church, and I love those. I mean, I'm not gonna doubt that. I mean, if I could go to church, but I can just watch Reverend Payne on. I watch Reverend Payne because and it's not the same, and it's hard, and that's one thing that's hard for me here, because when you have that upbringing and you have that sincerity, now that's the one thing. If I could bring that from Arkansas here, I would bring the ministry, as far as, not feeling like it's for show, and and I understand that you have to meet everyone where they are, but sometimes you could be too casual for me. That's the only thing I would go back to Arkansas for.
Okay.
If I can go home every Sunday just to go to church, I would.
I bet. So, what would you say in these transitions? There have been a couple of some life transitions for you, and even location transitions for you. What would you say they've taught you on this journey so far?
What they taught me is not to allow fear to stop you from being the greatest that you can be. We always look at if we don't achieve what we accomplish as a failure, but actually failure is your first attempt at learning.
Wow.
And so when you can actually flip that and look at the positives, if I could see more positives and I can say, well, these are all the opportunities that I can gain instead of looking at all that I can lose, then the potential is endless. And so it's just, the best thing that has came out of it is shifting my mindset. And it's hard because, when you come from a little country town in Sweet Home, Arkansas, even moving to Little Rock is a big step.
Right.
So that's huge. And, because everybody know everybody, and everybody that live on the same street related. Right. And you can't even drive over there, Who was that at my house?
Exactly.
What you talking about, mama? So-and-so done told you, you can't get in trouble at school because you got to walk past all these houses. You're going to get all these whoopings before you En route. Before you even get home. And so that's the best lesson that I learned, is to stop looking at if you don't accomplish something on the first time or even a second time. That's just your attempts in learning, as long as you change the processes. Now, if you keep doing the same thing and keep doing it the same way,
that's on you.
That's on you.
You're making a conscious decision.
But if I take that and be like, okay, that was my first attempt at learning. I mean, you look at Einstein, look at all the greatest people, all the people that have invented anything. They didn't just go in there and like bloop bloop.
First one perfect. No.
This was my first attempt at learning. Okay, well, this didn't work. Let me take this variable out. And so if you look at life like a science, in my bonus daughter's voice, YOLO, you only live once. So since you only live once, you have to look at that and, look at what am I here for? We're not here by mistake. What am I actually here for? Is it just to be an awesome parent? There's nothing wrong with that. Is it to be a nurse? Is it to be a doctor? Is it to be a philanthropist? Is it, whatever that call is, until you like find it, you're always gonna be wondering.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that sentiment
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Now, I have a question because I've not known, like I said, Miss Cheryl has known me for over half of my life. And I've never necessarily known some of those intricacies of your journey that you shared with us today. And thank you for that.
You're welcome.
In that, what I see before me and you is perseverance. You expressed that you were afraid to step out, even, the first Atlanta thing, you wanted to relocate, but that was still like a scary concept, right? And then first opportunity to do it didn't work out. You could have quit then, because it's like I tried it,
And
I tried the thing, and it didn't work. What gave you the courage to try again? Was it that specific offer?
Carolyn Sue Lancaster, my mother. That's who it was. I mean, not only do I owe her, just my life for birthing me, she pushed me into who I am and where I am today. Stop being afraid. Get up off your butt. What are you afraid of? What's the worst that can happen? Nothing. The worst that can happen is that you come back. And that's it.
I feel like that lesson has been passed down, because as you were speaking, all I heard was your daughter. That's my friend. You all sounded the same, and I'm picturing her or hearing her talk to her eldest daughter as she learns new skills and new things, and I'm like, I've heard this before. I've seen this before. I've witnessed this before. Yeah. So I love how it's being passed down. I love the support that's there, because that can be a tricky thing to navigate without support in place. Thank you for sharing your story. For the individual that may think, it's too late to move around, what would you say to them? But you kind of already spoke to them. Is there any additional thing that you would say to encourage them?
Never too late. As long as you're living and breathing, there's always an opportunity for you to, pursue your goals, pursue your dreams. If it's not working, you can try. I mean, that's the worst thing that can happen. I'm not saying just say, hey, I'm just gonna drive somewhere and not even have $20 in my pocket. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, if it's something, or if it's a place like when you were a kid, I want to live in Florida. Why are you not living in Florida? Make a plan. Secure your job, or get you a remote job where you can work from anywhere, to where you could travel and you could be like, hey, do I like this place? And if you like that place, hey, relocate there. Let me get, give me an apartment. There's so many avenues now, seeing that there's a lot of remote work due to COVID, to where you can pursue and do anything. And
is there anything that you would like to share that I have not asked you?
Let's see. Well, you didn't ask me why I accepted your invitation.
Well, how rude of me. Pardon me. Miss Cheryl, when I had this random idea where I hit you up and asked for you to come on this podcast and allow me to interview you to talk about your journey, you transitioning or relocating, why did you tell me yes?
I told you yes because it's an absolute honor that you would even consider me. To just think of the maturity and just to be able to watch you grow. I've known you since you were a child, to see you grow, to see you do those different things, travel. We're not going to talk about all that, but traveling, venturing out, different jobs, just whatever is placed on your heart to do, that you do it. And so you're doing something else. You're doing a podcast. So to me, you're venturing out in something else. And so if anything that I can say can help someone else or can help you, is an absolute honor. And then it's an honor that you would even consider me.
Of course. I appreciate that. I didn't even see that one coming, guys. But I appreciate that. When I mapped this thing out and I tried to think of people that I knew that had relocated, and I wanted not only to contact people that I know that had relocated. That wasn't just the premise. This is a women's based series. And I used the subject matter of relocating for me. This is a personal thing for me. And to get the story out about the stories not being so unique, that we're all connected in some way. But I also wanted it to span generations. So I'm interviewing individuals between the ages of 28 and 68 or 78. I can't remember at this time who the eldest person is that I'm interviewing. But from what I know, the Bible says nothing new is done under the sun.
Yes.
And if we, both myself, you, and all the others that I've interviewed and will be interviewing, if we can inspire someone, if we can encourage someone, if we can possibly remove a barrier so you don't have to go through a course or make a decision that we've already made, if we can do that, then my work is done.
Yes.
My work is done. So thank you again. Like, I really appreciate it, because you didn't have to say yes. You didn't have to say yes. I appreciate that. I always appreciate you. She's a nurse, but she's my doctor. Just in case anyone ever wondered. First person I'm calling if anything is hurt or looks crazy. There are stories.
Yes.
You're
not the only one. You're not the only one.
But yes, I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I'm glad even my mother entrusted me to you, because even that's an honor to me, because we don't play about our kids.
No.
So I'm thankful.
Mine went 2 houses.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story. And would you like to share any of your social media handles for the people, just in case they would like to contact you?
Well, if you have any questions and you want to contact me, I'm Sexy Cheryl Renee on Instagram. I said it. Yes. And then it's just the regular Cheryl Gregory on Facebook.
And we'll be sure to put those handles in the notes section of the podcast for you all to go find.
And if you have any questions at all about anything, let me know. If you need a reference, if you want to explore, I do work remotely. If you have any customer service, even if you don't even have any medical background or any insurance background, I'll be more than happy to give you a referral to United Healthcare and try to help you get a remote position to where you can, try to get a move and try different things out. Just let me know.
You all heard it here. She talked about Black women empowering one another, and she didn't just talk about it. As you see, she offered to be about it. So hit her up. Thank you so much. We'll talk later, guys. Bye. Bye.